So we've had a terrible February for cryptocurrencies. Is March going to be any better? Let's find out. Let's analyze the charts. I'm going to look at some of the altcoins as well as Bitcoin. I'm going to try to figure out what is the best strategy from now on, because February totally changed the way this cycle was going, and many of the strategies have to be adjusted. You have to have an edge in this market. Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Corner, your go-to place for all things crypto. Now, I know guys, I know, I let you down. February, I was on vacation, I was in Brazil, I was in Chile, I was on Easter Island, which was quite an adventure. But unfortunately, it coincided with some terrible moves in the market. And I wasn't here to report to you, I wasn't here to prepare you for it. Hopefully, you didn't suffer too much. But more importantly, let's find out what can we do moving forward to protect ourselves from any further crashes and further losses. We have to adjust our portfolios every now and then, and I feel that now is the perfect time because we are still not out of this correction, but we started making the first moves into the recovery, and this recovery is now going to show us which are going to be the coins that are kind of worth holding and the ones that maybe should be dropped out of our portfolios. Now, first of all, over the last month, let's see, because we did have a terrible month. First of all, the losers. Fartcoin is one of the biggest losers, which is a meme coin. It was one of the biggest gainers over the month of January, and it became one of the biggest losers now over the month of February. Radium, Ray, is another big loser, 65% it lost over the last month. Griffin, another token that was really promising in January, it had massive gains. It experienced 63% loss. It is making a decent recovery already. We see 25% gains over the last week, but 63% loss. Monkey is another meme coin that lost 63% over the month of February. Memes AI, another one that is almost 63%, 62 in fact. Giga, Toshi, and Colin, all around 60% losses. So these were the biggest losers. Are there any gainers? Well, we see that Mantra, the token is is still 25% up on the monthly, despite all of this crash in the whole crypto market. And then Tron is 7% up. And then two other tokens, Tron is one of them, 7% up on the monthly. And Satoshi Dex, which is a decentralized exchange, its token, SatX, is also up. 5% up, which I really like because this is a token that I still have some of. I invested in this in pre-sale, and I was thinking that it's going to be quite a strong exchange. When it first launched, it didn't really do much. Now I see that the token is holding well. During this crash, it actually didn't dump, and it's 5% up on the monthly, which is not bad, but I'm yet to see this token make any big gains because, quite frankly, it's been quite a weak performance since its launch. Then BNB is the next token that fantastically holding quite well throughout this whole crash. It's only 1% down on the monthly. Degen, another token that I was getting into at pre-sales, is only 7% down, so this is not bad at all. And HBAR, another token in my portfolio, alongside with XRP, both of them are only 8% down on the monthly. So this is quite a good performance. All of these are outperforming Bitcoin, which is 10% down on the monthly. So everything else has been underperforming, but these are the tokens that have outperformed even Bitcoin, which is not bad if you have any of these tokens in your portfolio. Now, let's take a look at the charts. All right, well, first we're going to start with Bitcoin, of course. Now, I know that the sound here is not as clear, but bear with me. Hopefully, it's not too bad. Now, let me just adjust this. I'm going to look at the daily and then I'm going to look at the weekly because right now, I'm not interested in the very short term. We want to find out what is going on in the long term because I'm not really doing day trading. I'm not proposing that you should be doing day trading. We're looking at bigger gains, we're looking at bigger moves, so we're looking at bigger time frames as well. And the daily is showing us that we are now finally making some higher lows and hopefully a higher high is to come. We did have this higher high here than the previous one, but very quickly that got invalidated. So now we are making the next attempt. So we are slowly crawling here and trying to make a recovery. So far, it's going well. I'm not seeing anything crazy. I'm not seeing anything that looks like a fake out or anything like that. Also, let me bring out the 200 EMA, which as from what I'm seeing, it's actually holding us right now. It is acting as a support. We did break this support, we broke below it, and we went much lower. But this was just filling up here a CME gap, and once this got filled up, I feel that now we are out of the woods with this move. I don't expect this move to continue. I feel that now we have turned this 200 moving average into a support, which is great for us. It means that from here we can look into a proper recovery. The next thing for us would be to reclaim the 100 and then the 50th moving averages, which I hope will happen over the next few days. Now, if we look on the weekly, of course, this is looking a little bit worse. We are yet to see any green candle here on the weekly, and hopefully that will be next week. I don't think it will be this week, but this long wick here, and actually both of these weekly candles have long wicks, which actually shows that all of the effort of the bears to drop the price all the way down here was met with a lot of resistance. A lot of buyers stepped in here and quickly bought these levels, so they didn't really allow the price to hang around here for too long. This is why we are seeing just wicks, and these are very long wicks. This is actually showing strength in the bulls. Even though we are still in that corrective move, it actually shows us that the bulls are ready to step in as we see the price going into these lower ranges, and that is why I'm talking about strength. Also, we are in the oversold region in the stochastic RSI, definitely calling for a bounce on the way up from here. All in all, what I'm expecting from here to happen is that we break out of this triangle, and I'm expecting the breakout to be on the upside, of course. So this is the most likely scenario for me. I'm not saying that we're going straight to 120k, don't get me wrong. This is the target, but of course we're going to have a few hurdles along the way. And the round numbers are definitely going to be these hurdles, the 100k, the 110k, the 120. Alright, now let's look at some of the altcoins. I'm starting with the ones that I'm currently holding and the ones that I'm actually interested in either keeping or accumulating more. HBAR is one of those. It's actually performed really well over this market crash, if you want to call it that. And this is the daily, but let's look on the weekly, because the weekly is the one that I'm more interested in. And let's bring again the 100, and we have the 50th moving and the 200 MAs. Right, so what we are seeing, well, on the weekly we are not even close to these moving averages, because this was actually a very good performer. On the daily we did get close to the 200 moving average, but we didn't even touch it. So this was great, because many of the other coins actually broke below this moving average, and this is very bearish. However, here we didn't break. HBAR is keeping its bullish momentum. Even though it went through a correction, it's a much smaller correction than what we've seen with many of the other outs. The 50th moving average actually played a very good support here, even though it got broken very briefly on the 3-day chart. Very briefly got broken, but it was more of a fake out, because as you see, very quickly after that we reclaimed it, and we are still holding on to this support. So the 50th moving average is still holding as a support. On the weekly, we're not even close to the 50th moving average, and this is very good news, because as you will see, some of the other outs actually broke below the 50th moving average on the weekly, which is not good news at all. Now, what I'm expecting with HBAR here is that we're going to continue this bullish momentum, because we are printing this inverted wedge pattern, which is actually quite a bullish one. So definitely what I'm expecting here to happen very soon is that we break on the upside from this megaphone or inverted wedge pattern, whatever you want to call it. Alright, now let's look at Solana, and this is Solana against Bitcoin, but I want to look at Solana against fiat, because this is what most people are interested in, even though quite frankly guys, it's time to start looking at these coins in their Bitcoin value. Because what is the point of holding Solana if it's going to be underperforming against Bitcoin, right? Look at it. It's actually on a downtrend against Bitcoin, and I don't see this downtrend being over yet. I feel that Solana will continue going down against Bitcoin, which means that if you're going to be holding crypto and if you want to be growing your capital, it makes more sense to swap this Solana right now for Bitcoin, because in the short term at least, Solana is going to be going down against Bitcoin, which means you will be losing money if you're holding Solana rather than Bitcoin. But it's up to you. Let's look at it in fiat value. For many people, this is more important and this is what they understand. Well, we see this double top here that's been forming, and I don't really like this pattern. It is a bearish pattern, we all know that, and we have broken below the base of this double top here, which is also an indication that we can continue this downtrend. We are not over yet with this downtrend. So I feel that Solana will be revisiting the lower probably 120, maybe even 112, 113 kind of price range. However, it could be that we find support here, which where is it sitting at 123. So 123 is almost guaranteed that it will be revisited, this level. The question is it going to hold us? Is it going to provide a good support from where we could actually bounce? Because if we just get stopped here and then we bounce on the upside, we're in for a quick recovery. However, we are not guaranteed that we're going to see that recovery. This is the 3-day chart. We are in the oversold region, which means that we should be seeing a recovery. But we must not forget that there is a massive unlock of Solana happening from the FTX holders, and this could see a lot of selling pressure on the market. So the price could actually drop below this support here. And this is why I'm not really so sure about Solana right now. But just technically speaking, just looking at the technical analysis here at the chart itself, it is actually looking quite ready for a bounce on the upside from here. So don't be surprised if that happens, and be ready to jump in if that happens, because quite frankly, there's no point buying Solana right now as it's falling. We need to see it stop falling. We need to see it find support. Once it finds support and starts going up and starts printing higher highs and higher lows, this is when you can jump in. There is no point doing it right now. It is below the 50th moving average on the weekly, which is bearish. So I'm not really jumping in Solana at this point. Let's look at the next one, and that would be Pendle. Pendle is one of the tokens that I was holding for quite a long time, pretty much throughout the whole of last year. It was performing really well. You can see this performance here, this on the way up. This is pretty much since last March. It was going up, and it was unstoppable. However, it printed a double top here, and it's now at the base of this double top. So it's very important whether we're going to hold the support where we are currently. We are at a very important support here. If we break this line here, that means that we can go much lower. So I'm watching this very closely. I'm ready to offload, to sell all of my Pendle if I see that this support gets broken. So it's very important right now, because Pendle is a token that for the last few months has not done anything that great. It's kind of tried to regain all of its losses from its previous correction, but it hit pretty much the same resistance here at the same all-time high as it already had. It failed to print a new all-time high, and from that point it started a bear trend. This is a short-term bear trend. However, it could turn into a longer-term bear trend. This is why I'm watching this closely, and I'm going to be selling Pendle if I see it break this support. I'm not saying you have to do the same, but this is definitely what I will be prepared to do. So very important few days coming for Pendle. If this support holds and we see a bounce from here, we could easily go and challenge again that all-time high, which would be great. And this will be also very important, because if this all-time high doesn't hold, if we get rejected and we print another top here, and we start getting rejected and we print a triple top formation, then it's definitely going to be going much lower. Therefore, I will be exiting as close as possible to that top. But this is all hypothetical because right now we don't even know if it's going to be ready to start this recovery. It may not do that. And if it consolidates around this level for a while, it weakens and weakens every next time that it challenges this support. There is a chance that it will break. So it's very important to monitor it closely if you have any Pendle right now. Okay, the next one that many people are asking about, and everyone is wondering what's happening with Sui, because it did have such a good run over the previous few months, and then over the last couple of months it's been on a downtrend. So is this downtrend exhausted? Is it going to continue? Is it ready to start a recovery, or are we going to see further downwards price action from Sui? Well, from what I'm seeing right now, it looks like we're not quite ready with the recovery yet, because there is no indication, this is the daily, there is no indication that we are ready to start printing higher highs and higher lows. We are barely making here an engulfing candle, and it is still, I mean, it is an engulfing candle, so technically this is a bullish candle here. But let's see how the day is going to end, and also let's see what's the next day going to be, because we do have this massive red candle that we have to challenge as well. I'm yet to see a proper higher high, higher low in order to get confidence that this is ready for a recovery. As of right now, not quite ready yet. Let's look at the weekly, and the weekly is in the oversold region as well. So at least according to the weekly, we should be ready for a recovery. This is what the weekly is telling us here, is that at this point the 50th moving average has been respected, has been holding us. We tried to break it, but the buyers stepped in. They didn't allow it to break. It broke very briefly, and we didn't stay there. This is what I'm saying. We have a wick here that is breaking the 50th moving average, but it's not a full-bodied candle. Of course, it's not too late for that to happen because we're still in this week, so we could see that happening later in the week. So it's important to monitor it, but for the moment, this is bullish because we are holding this level. The 50th moving average is proving to be a decent support on the weekly, and I like to see that. Let's look at NEAR. NEAR is a token that I'm actually really close to selling because I'm not really sure whether it's worth holding this token. It is not performed as I expected it to perform, and for me this is one of the very weak performers in my portfolio. However, what I'm seeing here right now on the weekly at least is that this is ready to go up. And I charted this yesterday, I think. So I'm just looking at this, and yes, we are still respecting our support here. We do have a lower support that if this gets broken, it will invalidate the pattern that I've drawn. But typically, we are printing this bullish flag pattern, and this usually plays out as I've drawn it. It breaks on the upside, so this is what I'm expecting. So again, I will be holding on to NEAR for the short term. We'll see how it plays out. If it doesn't play out as I'm expecting here, I will be exiting my position because NEAR, even though it's performed very well in the past, recently it's not been performing that well, and I have a feeling that it might be a long wait until it starts performing again very well, and I would like to allocate the money into something that will be performing better in the shorter term. Okay, and two more tokens that I'm going to look at. One is Chainlink, because many people were asking about Chainlink recently on my Twitter, and I haven't actually revisited Chainlink in quite some time. You know that I was really bullish at the beginning of this bull cycle about Chainlink, and then I lost interest because it failed to perform, at least against Bitcoin. It failed to perform well against Bitcoin, and for me, if I'm going to be holding my money in an altcoin, it has to outperform Bitcoin. Otherwise, I would just hold it in Bitcoin. And this is what it's been doing against Bitcoin. Since 2020, it's actually been going on a downtrend against Bitcoin. Here in 23, which is when I got really bullish about it, it started outperforming Bitcoin. It started going on the upside. This is when I entered. And around here is when it actually plateaued. It peaked, it plateaued, and then it started going in a downtrend. Ever since then, it's not really done much. It had a minor recovery, but then again, we see a downtrend here. So overall, it's not really outperforming Bitcoin. And for that reason, I'm not interested. I trimmed my position. I had about 50,000 in Chainlink. Now I hold about 5. So you can imagine I've trimmed it by a lot. And I'm also ready to completely exit my Chainlink if I don't see a decent recovery from here. Now this is against USD Tether. We see that we are still in a downtrend. We are in the oversold region, so we are ready for a bounce on the upside. We are seeing today, you know, in the last couple of days actually, a bounce, but it is still quite a minor bounce. I'm waiting to see something more major happening here. And on the weekly, we are also in the severe oversold region, so this is good news. I feel that Chainlink is definitely ready for a bounce on the upside any day now. This is a bullish pattern, so typically we see this pattern break on the upside. So this is what I'm expecting from Chainlink, and I hope that it will happen over the next few days. Okay, and lastly, XRP, a token that I have not revisited in a very long time. I know I lost interest a long time ago in XRP, but as retail got back in the game, and retail definitely loves XRP, I'm impressed with its performance. It's been performing quite well. However, as you can see here, it is forming somewhat of a head and shoulders, so we have to watch this closely, because if this head and shoulders breaks, and we have here the base of it, if this breaks, it could actually indicate much lower drop from here. So you have to monitor it closely. This is the 3-day chart. So of course, this is the slightly bigger time frame. If we go on the daily, it doesn't really look like this. The daily is already showing us some higher highs and higher lows, which is good. So this is a recovery. But is it ready for a proper recovery on the bigger time frames? The weekly is showing us that we are not quite certain about the recovery quite yet, because this pattern, quite frankly, is not the most bullish one. A lot of the times, this is a pattern that actually breaks on the downside. So we have to watch this closely, especially the bigger time frames, because we might have a short-term recovery right on the daily or the 12-hour or even the 4-hour. We can see a recovery into the higher zones here, into the $3 range, but in the higher time frames, this could actually play out as a short-term recovery and then a longer-term correction. So all eyes on this. Make sure to watch this closely, and make sure to tune into this channel and watch my analysis more often. Alright, so that's about it from the charts for today. I mean, I can go on, I have so many more coins that I can analyze, but it will become a very long video and I don't want to do that. Just drop a comment, let me know in the comments below which coins that I didn't mention here you want me to analyze, so that I can go through this in the next video. Now, a reminder, just like I emphasized the importance of using cold wallets, the OneKey Pro stands out as my top recommendation for safeguarding your digital assets. This model is equipped with not 1 but 4 security chips with the highest industry standards. But what I love most about the OneKey Pro is that it has air-gapped signing capabilities, so you can securely confirm transactions without ever connecting to the internet. This is done by scanning QR codes, and there is a camera to facilitate this. There is also Bluetooth connectivity should you wish to use that. It makes it unique because it is the first device of its kind to offer both Bluetooth connectivity and air-gapped mode. I prefer air-gapped most of the time, but if I'm in a rush, I would use the Bluetooth option. I have a choice, which is great. And there's other things that make it worth your money, like the biometric authentication, which is just adding an extra layer of security. Plus, it supports thousands of cryptocurrencies. The list is too long to go through it here. And it's also the first cold wallet with wireless charging capability. These are all unique features that no other device currently offers. It's super lightweight and compact, fitting easily in my pocket or bag, ideal for my travels throughout the year. And whether you're at home or on the move, this wallet seamlessly integrates with both desktop and mobile phones. And the best part, you get 10% discount with my link, the most of any other YouTuber out there. So use the link, it's in the description below, or you can scan this QR code to get the discount. And this is for all of the OneKey products, not just for this wallet. I also love the Touch model and even the older one, the OneKey Classic. They're very easy to use. The One Key Classic is the most simple one, but also it is the thinnest and the lightest of all of them. So it is perfect for on the go. It doesn't have a full color display and it's not that easy to navigate with just 4 buttons. But for simple stuff and for long-term holdings where you don't really have to make too many transactions too often, it is perfect. So there's plenty of choice. You can download my free ebook where I break down these and many other devices currently on the market, so you can compare and choose the right one for you. Remember, always own your private keys and keep your crypto safe. And while you're here, just pick another one of my videos and I'll see you there.